NBA President-elect visits President Tinubu, pledges to promote unity among members. Over 2,000 farmers benefit from Senator Adiola's Mega Farmers Empowerment Program to enhance agricultural productivity in Ogun State. A pleasant good evening to you and welcome to the 7 p.m. news coming to you from Heritage Station. I am Fatima Hassan. Thank you for joining us. The President-elect of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), Oyinkansola Badejo Okusanya, says that top priority will center on unity of members upon swearing in as the president. The NBA President-elect was in the State House to visit President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The visit, accompanied by a delegation of women lawyers, was her first after her election about 2 weeks ago. Fielding questions from our State House correspondent after the meeting, Oyinkansola Badejo Okusanya revealed that the challenge of electronic voting came up in their discussion while the president congratulates her on victory.
Out to members, to stakeholders, so that we can work together to improve things, to heal the hurt anyone has, and to just continue to ensure that we do things to make sure that the NBA continues to fulfill its role to society. Everything that needs to be done, I can assure members and the public that I will do. We'll make sure that we unite ourselves. We'll make sure that we put our house in order.
Federal government has commenced the validation of the National Housing Data Report as well as the implementation and regularization of the built environment across the country. This initiative is aimed at providing credible housing data, strengthening urban development and addressing Nigeria's housing deficit. Housing correspondent Francis Udojo has more.
This three-day workshop brings together key stakeholders in the built environment from across the nation to validate critical national issues that are key to Nigeria's housing development. The first is the National Housing Data Program, designed to establish a credible and sustainable housing data ecosystem that will support evidence-based policymaking, planning, investment decisions, and effective evaluation of housing interventions across the country. The second focuses on the regulation of the built environment to strengthen regulatory oversight, ensure compliance with established building standards, and address the persistent challenge of building collapses. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Muttaka Rabi Dharma, says the initiative will provide reliable data for planning, eliminate guesswork in the sector, and promote a safer, better regulated built environment.
For our disorder in this country, what is the price that we are paying? Since 1974, Nigeria has recorded more than 650 building collapses. Over 1,600 deaths from this collapsing. Almost every one of those buildings has a designer, a builder. Now, with all of these things that we're trying to do, we're going to end guesswork in the housing sector in this country.
We have our responsibilities cut out. We will support your programs. If you want anything to do with regards to the legislation.
The validated reports of the National Housing Data Program and the Technical Committee on Housing Deficit are expected to be presented to the Federal Executive Council for final approval before their full implementation across the built environment. Francis Udojo, NT News.
The renewed effort to strengthen livestock production and improve supply chain efficiency to boost national food security in Nigeria is gaining momentum. This is as the Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers Union signs partnership with international meat processors on livestock value addition across the country. Minister of Livestock Development Ide Mukhtar Meai describes the initiative as a way to reducing risk and achieving full potential in the sector. Joseph Austin has the details.
Nigeria is known as one of the leading livestock producing countries in Africa, yet reaps little from its value chain. These experts have attributed to prolonged use of traditional method of production with inadequate processing mechanism for meat, milk, leatherworks, and other additions.
We can only continue to be in business if we innovate and we progress with the world. Otherwise, we will be left behind.
The federal government is keen on modernizing the industry and has created a ministry spearheading the revolution. A move now welcomed by the foodstuffs and cattle dealers who have taken a step ahead to seek international partnership to explore the market.
Together, we can build a modern livestock ecosystem that provides a national digital registry and traceability platform, access to Sharia-approved finance, insurance, and veterinary services for all members, better market access and transparent transactions, and most importantly, modern processing facilities.
Almost 10 million people we are targeting to create jobs in this country.
Beyond just moving goods, you also need to partake in value addition in the byproducts of the processed animals: meat, blood, hoofs, bones, marrow, feathers, horns, hides, and skin.
With better livestock production management, the foodstuffs and cattle dealers in Nigeria are not just looking at enhancing their ability to compete in the global market, but also reducing the conflict caused by previous methods of production. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
In a renewed drive to strengthen food security and boost agricultural productivity, no fewer than 2,557 farmers across Ogun State have benefited from the second edition of Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adeola's Mega Farmers Empowerment Program. The beneficiaries received tractors, large tricycles, fertilizers, improved seedlings, and other mechanized farming inputs at the flag-off ceremony in Ilaro, where Senator Adeola said the initiative aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda on agriculture. The report.
That was Senator Olamilekan Adeola, the APC governorship candidate in Ogun State, declaring open the second edition of his Mega Farmers Empowerment in Ilaro. 2,557 trained farmers from over 100 clusters across the state received tractors, haulage tricycles, fertilizers, improved seedlings, irrigation equipment, and other modern farming implements, alongside a 100,000 naira cash grant, each to boost agricultural production. Senator Adeola said the intervention aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda on agriculture and food security, stressing that increased investment in mechanization and irrigation is driving year-round farming, higher food production, and greater economic prosperity.
The target has led President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to allocate over 350 billion for reticulation and distilling of various dams across the nation by the river basins. Development Authority to provide water for massive irrigation of farmland.
Beneficiaries described the initiative as transformational, saying it has improved access to modern farming tools, increased productivity, and enhanced their livelihoods.
The first time he did, he gave us 20 tractors with so many tricycles, with so many pesticide, herbicide, fertilizers.
With Yayi coming into the picture, farming business has become very lucrative because we have tools to work with.
They were optimistic that the program would further strengthen food security across the state. The week-long empowerment program continues with a mega empowerment package for market women.
We'll be right back after the break. Please stay with us. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Josh Amukuton, has arrived in Osun State to oversee the final preparations for the August 15 governorship election and ensure a peaceful, free, fair, and credible poll. Correspondent Kayode Oladosho reports that the INEC chairman's first official engagement was meeting with traditional rulers at the palace of the Ooni of Ife, where he sought their support for a violence-free election. The report.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Josh Amupiton, was received at the Akure airport by the resident electoral commissioners of Osun and Ondo State before proceeding to Osun State. His first point of call was the palace of the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, where he met with members of the Osun State Traditional Council. Professor Amumpito recalled that the Commission had concluded its assessment of electoral preparations across the state and expressed confidence in INEC's readiness to conduct a transparent, credible, free, and fair governorship election.
We want to appeal to our loyal fathers to help us appeal to our politicians, the political actors, to ensure that this election is peaceful, it's all about ideology, it's about ideas, it's not about rancor, it's not about acrimony, and it is not a do or die affair.
Ooni of Ife Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, on his part, acknowledged the heightened political activities across the state and urged INEC to remain impartial, transparent, and committed to fairness in the discharge of its constitutional responsibilities.
The political tension in Osun is getting unbearable. We do not want to rock boat. We want election to come very freely and very fairly and very justly. Please, please, and please, you are the umpire to douse the tension. You are the umpire to bring it down and make sure everything is right.
The visit forms part of the INEC chairman's series of stakeholder engagements ahead of the August 15 governorship election, during which he is also expected to oversee the signing of the peace accord and inspect other critical pre-election activities in the state. From Ile-Ife, Kayode Oladosho, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended the collection of permanent voter cards PVC at the registration area level to Friday, 31st July 2026, following the impressive turnout of voters and requests from members of the public for more time. In a statement by the head of Department Voter Education, Publicity, Gender and Inclusivity, Rufus Ario, the Commission had commenced the world-level distribution of PVCs on Wednesday, 22 July 2026, with the exercise initially scheduled to end of Tuesday, 28 July 2026. The statement highlighted that during the period, 322,822 PVCs, representing 62% of the available cards, were collected by registered voters across the state. According to the Commission, the extension became necessary in view of compliance, the large crowd witnessed at collection centers, and other logistical challenges encountered during the exercise. The extension is without prejudice to the commencement of PVC collection at the local government area offices, which will now begin on 1st to 7th of August 2026. INEC therefore urges all registered voters who are yet to collect their permanent voter cards to take advantage of the extended window and obtain their PVCs. In line with the federal government ban on alcoholic beverages in sachet, as well as PET and glass bottles below 200 millimeters, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has reiterated its commitment to protecting public health through continued enforcement of the ban. Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, disclosed this at a media briefing in Lagos, while giving an update on the ongoing nationwide mop-up operation. Diana Ajale reports.
Months after the ban of the production, distribution, and sale of alcoholic beverages, packaged in sachet and PET bottles, through Senate resolutions of November 6, 2025, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, among other sister agencies, in a joint media briefing, have made it clear that these sizes have been banned.
What we are working against or campaigning against is the pack size, not the alcohol. We register alcohol so long as the pack size is bigger than this. Why are we doing this? Because a child can sneak some of this into his pocket or her pocket and go to school and start misbehaving.
The Director General also noted that the enforcement exercise followed the expiration of the compliance period granted to manufacturers and other stakeholders.
Up till 3-4 days ago, they are still logging and showing their distributors. This is where they're going to dump this, this is where they're going to dump it. We were fortunate to get some evidence while the production was going on when we got there. One of our officers was nearly stabbed. A weapon was drawn against him. An attack on a NAFDAC officer carrying out lawful regulatory duty is an attack on the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it will not, I repeat, will not deter this agency from carrying out its mandate.
NAFDAC says the nationwide mop-up operation will remain a sustained exercise until full compliance with the ban is achieved, assuring Nigerians that surveillance and enforcement activities will continue across the country. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
As part of efforts to break barriers in emergency health education, persons with hearing and speech impairments have been equipped with basic first aid skills through a training program in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The training was aimed at promoting inclusion and empowering persons with disabilities with life-saving skills. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya has the report.
The program brought together persons with hearing and speech impairment alongside students of the Department of Special Education, University of Ilorin, for an inclusive first aid training session. Communication barriers were bridged through sign language interpretation, enabling participants to actively follow the lectures, exchange ideas, and participate confidently throughout the program. The training featured both theoretical and practical sessions on basic first aid, emergency response, bleeding control, burns management, choking prevention, and other essential safety procedures.
During this program, we train the deaf people on first aid, and we also train the people that can hear on how to communicate in cases of emergency.
Participants also demonstrated the skills they had acquired, boosting their confidence and preparedness to respond effectively to emergencies within their communities.
This is a kind of program that I can say I am experiencing for the first time in Kwara State.
He learned how to save life, and she has never experienced this before. So, and what she learned here, she will be able to share it to other people. I was excited to learn about it because I am also like a victim of emergency too.
At the end of the training, each participant received a first aid kit and a certificate of participation. A question and answer session also saw 3 outstanding participants rewarded with gifts. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
That will be all for tonight on our English news. Join us tomorrow for more interesting stories. Have a wonderful night. Trust. Bye.